Are you a victim of domestic violence, and are you about to apply for your indefinite leave to remain as a victim of domestic violence? In this video, I will be sharing with you some tips on what to include on your statement. As you know, when you submit your application, one of the evidence that's required by the Home Office is your statement. And your statement will show to the Home Office how the relationship broke down, what actually went wrong, and whether the relationship broke down permanently as a result of your partner's abuse. Okay, so let's dive in. First tip that I want to share with you is that when you write your statement, you need to give the Home Office the history of your relationship. Because when you read it, it has to kind of flow. You can't just sort of like target straight away, like on the such and such, something happened. So you have to write it in such a way that you're basically sharing your story to the Home Office. And the first part of the story will be, how did you meet? Where did you meet? When did you meet? I know that you probably think, well, they already have those details on the form, but to actually relay your story, to tell your story, how you and your partner fell in love and decided to get married, is different from getting it from the form where all this information, date of marriage or date when you started your relationship, where did you meet. So it's basically telling them a story where you met. If you met online, then you say it, I met my partner in such and such. We were corresponding with each other, we were writing with each other, or we saw each other we were dating for how many months, how many years, and then you decided. When did you decide to get into the relationship? When did you decide to get married? Did he propose? And what happened? So all those nice parts should be included in your statement, and it should be on the first paragraph. The second paragraph should then mention what went wrong. What was the first incident in your relationship that made you think something was not quite right, or there is a problem here because this is not how I expected our marriage to be. So it can be financial control, it can be putting you down, it can be embarrassing you in front of other people, it can be screaming and shouting, it can be calling you names, or it can be aggressive behavior. And so you have to then list all those incidents. And when you're writing all these incidents, the first, the second, the third, usually it's a pattern. And if it's not a pattern, then it's one big incident that you think, well, I can't continue with this marriage. So if it's just one incident, then go directly to the one incident that made you left your partner, and decide that you can't live with him as your husband or your wife or your partner, and continue with the relationship. But if it is a series of incidents, then you need to mention the first incidents, the second incident, third, fourth, and then mention the final incidents. And when you're writing all this, you need to mention, if you can recall, you need to mention the date. If you can recall, you can say around. If you can't clearly remember the date, because who remember dates, right? But if you can think, oh, it was around winter, it was around summer, it was around early spring, then mention that. Mention the time. Was it in the evening, in the morning, in the middle of the day? Mention whether there were witnesses. Okay? Mention what did he do? What did he say? What did you say? So your statement has to focus on what he has done in the relationship. Some of you and some of the statements that I've read while dealing with some clients are not strong enough. And I think it's because when you're writing this down, it's difficult to know what to actually include. And so this is the reason why I'm giving you these tips, so that when you come to write your statement, it is actually accurately reflect what happened and what happened when you were abused. So you need to also mention your feelings. When he screamed and shouted at you, how did you feel? When he embarrassed you in front of your friends or in front of other people outside, how did you feel? When he was aggressive and banging doors because he was angry, or when he punched you or pulled your hair, or all these horrible experiences, how did you feel? What was the thought? What were your thoughts when you're going through these experiences? Can also be relevant in your statement. So, to that end, don't submit your statement after you have written it in one sitting. You need to maybe write this statement over a span of 1 week or maybe 2 weeks, and then go back to it, because sometimes when you write your statement, there will be some events that you have missed, because sometimes our memory tries to forget the bad things, and so we don't include everything. Try and sit in a quiet place and write down maybe a timeline of when you arrived in the UK, what happened in this month 1, what happened after 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th month, 5th month, and just to jog your memory whether or not you've included everything. And once you've done that, once you're satisfied that you have actually included all the information, all the incidents that happened to you, then give it to your lawyer. Okay, your lawyer should be able to check whether or not your statement has some things in there that shouldn't be, or your lawyer should be able to advise, well, this is not enough, we can't apply for the domestic violence application because your statement doesn't really show that there's an incident of domestic abuse. So in fact, I had one person come to me and say, can you read my statement? I'm about to apply for indefinite leave to remain as a victim of domestic violence. And when I was trying to read it, I was looking for the incidences of domestic abuse, and I couldn't find any. There were just natural reaction for a partner who doesn't have enough money to give to this client's demands. Okay, so I'm not saying that he was very demanding, but he felt that he was being controlled because her husband wouldn't buy her boots, wouldn't buy her things that she wanted to buy. And so I asked, well, does your husband earn a lot of money? And if he doesn't, then those reactions are just normal reactions from someone who don't have any money. So, but she felt that there was a financial control, financial abuse, but there wasn't. Okay, so this is why your statement is important. Have it checked by someone, and preferably a lawyer who will be able to advise you whether or not you do have a case to apply for domestic violence settlement. Okay, and if this video has been helpful or you have taken something valuable from this, please subscribe to our channel, and you will be notified with more videos like this or for other tips on immigration. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.